أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum, my brothers in Islam. In this video, I'm going to make a comment on what Soren Karen wrote in Gatestone International regarding the approval of the German government for some mosques to call the prayer using microphone. The 3,000 almost 100 words is nothing but falsehood, telling lies against what Islam. The West should respect knowledge. If they want to criticize Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, please let them read and then bring evidences. For 13 years, there was no call to prayer. Why? Now, why is it only in Medina? In Medina was the tribe of the Levites, Kainuka, Nadir, and the Qurayza. What brought them to Medina? I've been explaining it. Now, there are two tribes, Aus and Hadaraj. They accepted the Torah and they were under the influence of the teachings of the Torah, following the wordings of Prophet Musa alayhi salam. That is the oral transmission. So, what happened before the migration? The Aus and Hadaraj requested Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to give them a time, not a date, to do what the Jews were doing on Sunday, on Saturday, and what the Christians were doing on Sunday. What is it? Congregating to praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Precisely that letter was sent probably a month or so before the Hijrah. What was the response of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Find a time. In the time exactly, the then Levi clan gather all their family and praise Allah, reading the Ad-Dabura, that is Psalms. Now, the question we should ask the Jews is, how are they calling themselves for that particular Friday prayer? How? That was before the migration. For those 40 days or so, at least that is around 5 Fridays. We don't know. So let us respect, please, Islam. If you don't know, don't say you know. Now, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam arrived in Medina on Monday, he observed the Friday prayer on Friday on his way to Medina. Was there any calling? There was nothing. We don't know the details. So, when did this call to the prayer began in Medina? I can say definitely that it began after the completion of the Mosque of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That was 6 to 8 months after arrival. Now, since the Aus and Hadaraj and the immigrants were following the actions or the Sunnah of Prophet Musa alayhi salam. And they wanted to call the prayer. What would one expect them to do? Definitely, now Muhammad is around. They will seek his own permission and the command. So maybe they discussed with him. Before you came, we were using the horn, because it's the Jews, not the Christians, to assemble ourselves. Now, what are we going to do? Are we going to continue using the horn? So there was freedom of speech. There was no revelation, therefore it's a free space. So they decided, shall we use the horn or the drum? And they said, they don't like horn, they don't like the drum. There's too much beating. What are they going to use? Use human voice to assemble us on Friday to praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and on other days, according to the 5 times for the 5 obligatory prayers. But understand that before that, the adhan was used to assemble, to call the believers when the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam received revelation. So that is the most important aspect of the call to the prayer, is to assemble the believers to learn and hear from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam what was revealed to him, and then to explain the revelation by himself according to what is to be the practical aspect of that particular piece of revelation. So I can say today that the call to the prayer is secondary. So why telling lies? Simply because hypocritically something unrecognized by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not rewardable. Germany allows the Muslim Umma to broadcast, inviting through a microphone. Today, truly speaking, it is primitive to do that. You don't need it. We know the time of the prayer. And prayer should be in the mind of a believer half an hour before the actual time. Leave whatever you are doing, prepare yourself, standing in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the call to the prayer on instant of it is primitive. It's a sign of not understanding the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the opportunities given by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to refine and improve on the Sunnah, but never to distort it. So why all this nonsense? Now, I have been advising West and Europe to ensure that this very important pillar of Islam, which is the lead to our prosperity and progress and security, is well established by the Muslim Umma. Because without establishing the obligatory prayers, why is the cleanliness of the mind? The face is stinking. So what do we expect if not misunderstanding and the turmoil, what we are facing today? And then additional cards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, tornadoes, hurricane, fire, all the confusion, economic downturns, COVID, and others. It's just like sending, in the time of the Jews, enemies to them whenever they are distant from the Lord of Abraham. So, if West want to arrest extremism by allowing immigration, which actually should not no Muslim should migrate to the West, because the West is against, is joking, is mocking Islam. And it is clearly mentioned that if you see those who are mocking, jesting on me, on my revelation, on my instructions, separate from them. But this Quranic instruction has been disregarded by the Muslim Umma. So, what is the face of the Muslim Umma today in Europe? Let them prepare for what Allah will reward them in the hereafter. Then, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, if you are passing by their land, yes, it is allowed, but staying there is not allowed. So, now the situation is either West and Europe send the Muslim Ummah back to their territories, to their provinces, to their countries, or they accept terrorism and extremism. Or else they ensure that the 5 obligatory prayers, the Friday, are actually observed according to the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. That will bring prosperity, peace, growth, and progress. But otherwise, without establishing this very, very important first pillar of Islam, obedience to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, I am sorry for them. It's just a matter of time and the wish of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on how to punish us. So the question of allowing broadcasting the time of prayer is very, very insignificant, and it's hypocrisy. Allah will not be happy with the Germans, and probably something more disastrous will be facing them. There's no Muslim immigrant, even in their own places, their homes, nobody is observing the obligatory prayer. Even in Mecca and the Medina, the 2 holy mosques, they pray the manner they liked because they don't read. Now, an important issue is in the New Testament. When I read that Jesus, the son of Maryam, prayed for an hour, years back, I said, let me see what that hour is in our 5 obligatory prayers. This is my understanding that everything in Islam is an extract from the Torah and the Injil. For example, we don't know that the call to the prayer is nothing but the song of Prophet Musa alayhi salam and the Israelites. Nothing but praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The same thing, there's no difference. Allahu Akbar is Allah, with your might, power, you destroyed and you saved us. That's Allahu Akbar. So please, West, understand Islam from those blacks, not from the whites who don't know Islam. It's against Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. They are against him. They insulted him. So I said to myself, let me understand this 1 hour, how it relates to us. So if you go to the Sunnah and you analyze the injunctions there, the first and the longest, or the last and the longest prayer is the Fajr prayer. It's number 5. The longest, 2 rak'ahs. The instructions is recite 40 verses to 60 verses, 100 verses. Sometimes I read the whole of 280 verses, Surah Al-Baqarah, in 2 surahs, in 2 prayers, in 2 rak'ahs. 180 something, the other, 190 and 80 something. So, now if you follow the simple 60 to 40 verses, and then in the second rak'ah, half of that, 30 to 20, then also follow the recommendations or the Sunnah, Zuhur, Asr, Maghrib, Isha. It will last for about 1 hour, 5 minutes. But on Friday, it is less, because the Fajr prayer is fixed. You read in the first rak'ah 30 verses. In the second rak'ah, 31 verses. That will take you around 10 to 8 minutes, depending on. And I talked very fast. So on Friday, I spent 55 minutes, 50 to 55 minutes. 5 obligatory prayers. So it's not only that, they should also include this very, very important analysis, ijtihad. That it's not only the call to the prayer that we improved, but also an hour spent by Prophet Isa alayhi salam is also spent by Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So what I am trying to understand or to draw the attention of the West and Europe is that Islam is an extract, simplified, completed, perfected instructions, commands by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Torah and also in the New Testament, Injil. So there is no justification on what West is saying except adding hydrocarbons to a blazing prairie fire. Fake, everything is fake. They are supporting the Muslims. So there is double decomposition, double face, double-edged sword. One telling lies, the other insulting Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So why do we expect security? Why do we expect progress? Another important thing is that the natives in the West and Europe who accept Islam use blind followership, not intellectuals. Why they think that they are intelligent, they can discriminate. But when it comes to Islam, they don't discriminate. They just follow the immigrants blindly who don't understand Islam. Now the question is that you can't understand the Sunnah except in Arabic language. I am a living witness. Because it was only when I changed, when I tried to read the Sunnah in Arabic language, that I realized our mistakes. That we don't follow the Sunnah because we only read a portion. One book, Muwatta Malik. And nothing else. In Europe, it is the book of Hanafi. Hanafi never wrote a comprehensive analysis or account on the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. They are all telling lies. And they will never accept that Hanafi left nothing on the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Because it was impossible for him to write anything that particular period. And we don't understand that Imam Hanafi was a student of who? Ibrahim Nakhai. Ibrahim Nakhai was a student of who? Abdullah ibn Mas'ud. Student of who? Ali ibn Abi Talib. All the Sahabas were students of two important Sahabas, Abu Bakr and Umar ibn Khattab. So why do you expect contradiction, misunderstanding? It's only because the Muslims don't read. So my advice to West and Europe is still what I say. Let them please read all the Arabic books describing the 5 obligatory prayers in the Friday prayer, the current and from how much. Let them start from Ibn Habib, around 100 and something, or something 200 and something after Hijrah, or much lower down from the book of the sons of Ali ibn Abi Talib. The prayer described there is not the way the Muslim Umma is observing it. Not to be proud of myself, there is no book in English language that details the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, erasing, explaining, removing every controversy and misunderstanding, except my book, Revival as Salat of the Holy Apostle. But the Muslims are not interested. They are penny wise but pound stupid. They feel that by listening to an Arab who doesn't even read, not scientifically inclined, doesn't know anything, he will understand the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Lastly, Soren Khan said, by 2050, the Muslim population in Germany will be projected to 17 million, an increase of 20%. Now that increase of 20% is reflected in insecurity and extremism. It will increase by 20% also. So why is the way out? The way out is my advice. Prayer is the most important pillar. It is the light. It is everything. The heralding of is just like the rainbow that Allah promised to keep on reminding us. Just like the prayer. It's like our rainbow. So unless this important pillar is well established, the West, drive away the Muslims from your country. Drive them away, because perpetually you will never live in peace. Assalamu alaikum.